You sit down to supper on the porch on a warm evening in August, and before the plates are even down, there she is, a yellowjacket, working the rim of your glass. You wave her off. Two more drift in from somewhere under the steps. And here's the part the viral videos won't tell you. The can of Wasp spray in the garage costs $9 and does nothing about the nest you can't see. Because the wasps bothering you tonight weren't born nearby. Most of them came out of a single hidden nest, often a hole in the ground that's been growing quietly all summer. In an old almanac of these tricks, there's an honest, kind-to-your-honeybees way to take the yard back. A $3 trap any child can build, set the right way. But first, the warning, because this is the one bug on the channel that genuinely sends people to the hospital. And that famous trick going around your feed, the $3 powder that supposedly wipes out every colony for half a mile? Stick with me because the truth is more useful than the promise. These are old farm family ways brought up to date with what the entomologists actually know. For generations, careful country folks lived alongside yellowjackets without a chemical truck on retainer. They knew the difference between the few wasps working your picnic and the nest those wasps came from, and they treated the two as completely different jobs. Here's what they understood that most of us forgot. You don't have to clear half a mile. You make your patch, the porch, the table, the bins, a place not worth visiting, and you leave the dangerous part, the nest, to the right time and the right hands. By the end of this, you'll have the whole system. The free habit that cuts the visits in half, the $3 bottle trap built and baited the right way, and the honest rules for the nest, exactly when you can handle it, and the times you must back off and call a professional. Here's the one idea that holds this together. There are two completely different problems, and almost every video blurs them. Problem one is the foragers, the handful of wasps at your table hunting sugar and meat. Problem two is the nest, hundreds or thousands of them somewhere you probably can't see. A trap handles foragers. It does not clear a nest. Anyone who tells you a cup of bait wipes out a colony half a mile away is selling you the promise, not the truth. So you work 3 levels, in this order. 1, take away the food for free so fewer foragers come at all. 2, set the $3 bottle trap, baited for the season and made safe for honeybees. 3, the nest. Decide honestly whether it's a job you can do or the day you call a pro. That's the list. Most people skip straight to spraying a nest they can barely see, the one step that gets people stung, and never do the 2 cheap, safe things first. Safest and cheapest first. Level 1 costs nothing, and it's the thing the wasps can't fight. Take away the food. Here's the how. Through late summer, a yellowjacket is hunting 2 things, sweet and protein. So you close the buffet. Lids on the trash cans, tight. Rinse the recycling. Pick up the fallen fruit under the tree, cover the sweet drinks, clear the dog's food bowl off the deck, and wipe the table after a meal. A hummingbird feeder or a sticky soda can in the bin is a dinner bell. Now the why. And this is the part that explains why your August is so much worse than your June. A yellowjacket colony starts in spring as a single queen. Through the summer, the workers build the numbers up, and by late August and September, the nest hits its peak. Often 1,000 to 4,000 wasps, sometimes far more. And right when the colony is biggest, the wild food it lived on, flowers, fruit, caterpillars, starts to run out. So the wasps get desperate, and they get bold, and they come looking for your lunch. They're not turning evil. They're starving, and you set the only table left. And here's what surprises people about where they're coming from. The wasps at your picnic almost never live in a tidy paper nest hanging in plain sight. That's the other wasp, the calmer paper wasp. Yellowjackets mostly nest underground, in an old rodent burrow or tucked inside a wall void, out of sight, which is exactly why people mow right over them and get a swarm up the pant leg. So before you ever hunt a nest, you spend a quiet minute watching. At midday, where is the steady traffic line going into the ground or the wall? That line is your nest, and we'll deal with it carefully in level 3. Folks who just do this, lids down, fruit picked up, table wiped, tell you the porch is half as busy within a few days before they trap a single wasp. Cost, 0. The honest limit. Sanitation lowers the pressure, it doesn't end it. A big nest next door will still send scouts. That's what the trap is for. Level 2 is the $3 trap any kid can build from a 2-liter soda bottle. Here's the how. Cut the top third off the bottle, the part that narrows to the cap. Flip that top upside down and seat it back into the bottom, like a funnel pointing in, and tape the edge. Take the cap off. Put a couple inches of bait in the bottom and, this is the part most people miss, add a single drop of dish soap. Hang it on a fence post or a branch out at the edge of the yard. Now the why, in 2 simple pieces of physics. First, the funnel. A wasp drops down through that wide opening toward the bait easily, but when she tries to leave, she flies up into the shoulders of the bottle, away from the little hole, and can't find her way out. Second, the soap. A wasp can normally stand on water. Surface tension holds her up. 1 drop of dish soap breaks that tension, so the moment she touches the liquid, she sinks. Funnel in, soap to finish. That's the whole machine. Now the 2 things the videos get wrong, and getting these right is the difference between a trap that helps and one that makes things worse. First, the bait, and it changes with the calendar. In spring and early summer, the workers are hunting protein to feed the young. A scrap of cat food or lunch meat outfishes anything sweet. From late summer on, they flip to sugar, and now a splash of fruit juice or flat soda is the better bait. Bait for the wrong season and your trap sits empty while you blame the design. Second, and this is the honest bee rule the safe for honeybees thumbnails skip. Never bait with honey. Honey calls in the very honeybees you're trying to protect. Add a splash of vinegar to a sweet bait instead. The acetic acid keeps honeybees away. They won't work a sour bait, while the yellowjackets pile in anyway. That one splash is what actually makes the trap bee safe. The badge doesn't, the vinegar does. And the placement rule that surprises everyone. Do not hang the trap on the porch where you sit. A baited trap is an attractant. Put it by your chair and you've invited every forager in the yard to dinner next to your head. Set traps at the far edge of the yard, drawing the wasps away from where people are. Now the honest verdict on the viral version, the $3 boric acid and apple juice bait that promises to wipe out every colony for half a mile. A sweet bait laced with a slow poison can knock back the foragers that carry it, and on a good day, dent a nearby colony. But half a mile and every colony is marketing, not biology. The results are slow and hit or miss, and you've now got an open dish of poison where pets and kids play. A plain soap and bait trap can't poison your dog, and it tells you the honest truth. It thins the foragers around you. It does not empty the nest. For that, Level 3. Level 3 is the nest. And this is where I want to be the most careful with you because this is the one bug on this channel that lands people in the emergency room. So before a single how-to, the line that matters most. Insect stings are one of the leading causes of life-threatening allergic reactions in this country. Somewhere around 40 to 100 Americans die from them every year. And for someone who's allergic, a single yellowjacket sting can be an emergency. And yellowjackets don't sting once and leave like a honeybee. They sting again and again, and a crushed or angry wasp releases an alarm scent that calls the whole nest out to join in. So here is the honest decision, and most of it is a list of when to stop. Call a licensed professional. Don't do it yourself, if any one of these is true. If anyone in the household is allergic to stings, always, no exceptions. If the nest is inside a wall, a soffit, or underground where you can't see its full size. If it's up high where you'd need a ladder. Or if it's already big, bigger than, say, a tennis ball, and active. A pro has a bee suit, the right product, and a way to leave fast. You have flip-flops and a flashlight. This is not the place to save $40. If it's a small, exposed nest low enough to reach and nobody's allergic, here are the country rules the old-timers never broke. Go at dusk. After full dark is settling, every forager is home, and the colony is at its calmest and slowest. Wear long sleeves, long pants, gloves, shoes, covered head to toe. Plan your exit before you start, and have a clear path to walk, not run, away. Never do it from a ladder. A sting on a ladder is how the fall happens. And use a red flashlight or set the light off to the side, not in your hand. Wasps fly the beam. And one thing you must never do. If yellowjackets are going in and out of a hole in your house wall, do not seal that hole. Trapped inside, they'll chew the other way, straight into your living room. A wall nest is a pro job every time. Honestly, for most families, the right move at level 3 isn't a technique at all. It's a phone call. There's no shame in it, and there's no hospital bill in it either. One more, from the older pages of the Almanac. The thing not to waste your $3 on. You've seen the brown paper bag you hang up to look like a rival nest. The one that's supposed to scare yellowjackets off because they won't nest near competitors. Here's the honest verdict. The idea isn't crazy. Some wasps are territorial. But when researchers have actually tested the decoy bags, they don't hold up. A hungry yellowjacket in September will work your picnic with a fake nest swinging right over it. Save your money. And here's the gentler truth to end on. Earlier in the summer, before they're crowding your table, those same yellowjackets spend their days hunting caterpillars and flies off your garden. They're rough little pest control workers. A nest way out at the back of the property, bothering no one, doesn't need a battle at all. The first hard frost kills the whole colony anyway, and only next year's young queens fly off to start over. Sometimes the old way is simply knowing which nests to leave alone. So here's what you actually learned. 2 problems, not one. The foragers at your table, and the nest you mostly can't see. Level 1. Take away the food. Lids, fruit, clean table, and the visits drop for free. Level 2. The $3 bottle trap, baited for the season. Protein early, sweet late. A splash of vinegar to spare the honeybees, set at the far edge of the yard, never by your chair. Level 3. The nest. Go at dusk, covered head to toe for a small exposed one. And for anything big, hidden, high, or near someone allergic, you call a pro. Every time. Starve them. Trap them at the edge. Respect the nest. In that order. That's $3 and a clear head, not a $9 can and a trip to the ER. Now your turn. Tell us in the comments what state you're in and where your yellowjackets are working you over. The porch, the bins, or a hole in the lawn you keep stepping near. We read every one, and your answers help the next family that finds this. If you want the one-page wasp trap build and the dusk safety checklist laid out for you, the free field edition down in the description has it. Next time, why the upstairs of an old farmhouse stayed cool through August with no air conditioning at all, and the cheap fixes that still work. Spend less. Live more. See you then.